Maximin, approximately 60 kilometers outside Paris in France. You're watching Bowlingdigital TV. My name is Herbert Bickel. I'm the editor. And today we will have the Stepladder finals of the Brunswick Euro Challenge for you. The gentleman to my left in the booth is someone that is easy to introduce. He's a 32-time PBA champion, a PBA Hall of Famer, a USBC Hall of Famer, 2-time PBA Player of the Year. He is left-handed, so now everything should be clear. Hello, Parker Boone.
Thank you, Herbert. Pleasure to be here.
Parker will help me to analyze the finalists. We have 2 PBA players and one of the top European internationals in the top 3 who survived the 8-player match play round. The number 1 seed is Jonas Jekinen, national team member of Finland. The number 2, actually also a Finn, but he lives in the United States for a long, long time. Reigning PBA Player of the Year, Mika Koivuniemi. And the number 3, one of the hottest players this season on the PBA Tour, USBC Masters champion Mike Fagan.
You know, when you look at it, you have a star-studded field here right now. Obviously, you know, in America, a lot of times we have 4 players on TV, sometimes 5. But folks, for those of you that are listening, especially the ones in the U.S., you know, we have 3 players right now getting ready to contest the Stepladder finals, 2 of which are extremely hot on the PBA Tour. And although you may not know Jonas Jekinen, obviously he's a member of the national team in Finland. Trust me when I tell you, he really, really bowled well. And just by his scores alone and what he went through, when you look at the depth of the field and the amount of players that were here, how good the field was, he wholeheartedly deserved and earned that top spot.
And there's no better than Parker Boone to value the potential that Jonas Jekinen has. He's a lefty as you.
Yes.
So, Mike and Mika are right-handers. The very old question, is that an advantage for the left-hander?
Well, it could be an advantage for him. You know, keep in mind that Jonas was the only left-hander that earned his right to be seeded into the top 12. You know, for those of you at home, to be seeded, we bowled 6-game qualifying blocks, and the top 12 bowlers, after all of the entries were amassed, okay, it didn't matter how many re-entries there were or what the scores were. Jonas was number 7th in qualifying. He shot 1464, he had a high game of 279, and he was the only left-hander to sneak into that top 12, which the cut initially was 1428, plus 228 over for a 6-game total.
Right. Actually, the next best left-hander was in 22nd place, so really impressive.
Yeah.
What Jonas did.
When you look at it, I mean, he definitely earned his way in there. Nobody said, hey, you know what, we like you this week. We're going to place you into the top 12.
It was tough to qualify for the final day of the Brunswick Euro Challenge anyway. The cut was 1358 after it was 1245 last year. So a very big leapfrog.
Yeah, scores were a little bit higher this year, obviously, than last year. And you know, I wasn't here last year, but 2 years ago, Herbert, when I was here, the scores were even higher by another 60 or 70 pins than they are this year. So, you know, this place, Plaza Bowling, it knows how to give you the true definition of a tournament.
Yeah, it's a real challenge, as the tournament name says.
Yes, it is. It's a beautiful bowling center. It's a great facility. You know, we think in America that we've got a lot of the best centers, which we do have a lot of very beautiful centers. But the Brunswick Corporation has really stepped that up, not just one notch, but many notches by the facilities that they've put over here throughout Europe and throughout Asia. And the Valky Bowling Services, obviously, have really put a first-class atmosphere right here in the outskirts of Paris, France.
And the president of Brunswick and Billiards, Brent Perrier, is here watching the TV show, as is Kevin Dornberger, the WTBA president. since the cooperation between the WTBA and the PBA. This is the second international title given outside the US in 2 weeks. That was last week, the Kuwait Open. Oscar Palermo won his third PBA title because he won the Kuwait Open.
Yep.
And now Mika could win his 10th title and Mike could make his 4th title. Unfortunately, Jonas Jekinen has not applied for a international PBA license, and now it will be too late to do this right before the Stepladder
It will
final.
be, but I got a feeling he might reconsider that before he bowls his next WTBA event.
I think so. I would do. Yeah, I think some players in Europe just did not expect to do so well against a very strong field of PBA players, but we had international stars like Martin Larson, who also competes on the PBA tour. Ildemaro Ruiz from Venezuela, who did very well in the World Series of Bowling. He made 3 TV shows. That was great, and others. So it wasn't an easy going for the PBA players, right?
No, it really wasn't. You had Liz Johnson. Okay, she's one of the top female bowlers. Obviously, there's a couple others, but Liz Johnson came over here, folks. She led the tournament that we bowled in the WTBA event in Las Vegas, and the TV show was held right here at the Plaza Bowling Center just 5 days ago. So she also competed in this field. Yes, she did make the cut. She shot 210 or 220 over. Unfortunately, this morning didn't go very well for Liz, such as myself as well. But that being said, when you look at, once again, the depth of the field, the amount of players that were here, you probably had a good solid 20 PBA title holders that were bowling this event. And I'm going to say, furthermore, there are no slouches in that field.
That is true. And even the Malaysian national team, men and women, used this competition just to practice, to learn. And they did very well. They had 5 or 6 players this morning in the first round.
You might be shortchanging them, Herbert. I think that they had 10 or 12 in that first round this morning. It was unreal how many players that they had lined up. They took a team picture right before it all started. And I believe that there were 10 or 11 players in that team picture. So
yeah, but I think that's usual for the Malaysians. They support their teammates. So all the players were here this morning, and they were here really early. If you have watched our live stream, they were here at least an hour before the round started.
Yeah, the bus this morning left at 6:45 with all of the Malaysian players.
Yeah. Fully controlled by my friend BC Chea, the high performance director of the Malaysian national team, and Holloway Chea, the national coach, was also here. They had a total of 14 players. There were a lot of other national teams, like the Danish national team was here, was its coach Christa Bakke. A lot of Swedes, a lot of Finnish players, all the powerhouses of Europe bowled this tournament. And it was really tough to make the cut. 13.58, folks, that's 226 plus average. And that wasn't an easy going. And the top 64 advanced to the finals. The top 12 bypassed the first round this morning. They could sleep a little longer than the others, which is really nice.
Yeah, somehow they should have had them here early too.
And the other players, the other 52 players, bowled 6 games this morning to cut to the top 16, who bowled the top 12 in the second round.
Yep.
The top 8 advanced to match play. And here we are. The top 3 survived match play. It was really close, though it took a little bit longer than expected. But Sean Rash finally had a chance to make it. It was a close race between Mike Fagan and Sean Rash. If Sean would have gotten a 30 pins bonus in that close game against the Swede, he would be in.
What's really funny about that is, they only played 7 games of match play, and Sean lost his first 4 games. Wasn't even in the ballpark, really thought that he had no chance at all to make the top 3. He was in 8th out of an 8-man round-robin field. The next thing you know, he bowls a pretty big game 5, bowls an even bigger. He bowls an even bigger game 6, and he finds himself only 4 pins off the TV show with 1 game to go. So, for Sean, I mean, when you look at what he did there, he came out of nowhere with a couple games to go and put himself in an enviable position to actually get to the TV show. Unfortunately, coming up just a little bit short there.
Yeah, even Tommy Jones had a chance. He just needed a higher game. He got the 30 bonus, but his last game at 221 was not high enough to make it.
Right. Tommy even had the unfortunate...
missed it by a few pins.
Yeah, and Tommy had the unfortunate pleasure. Once again, you look, he only earned 60 pins a match bonus. So out of 7 matches, Tommy Jones only winning twice. Herbert, I'm going to tell you right now, anybody back at home and go, no chance. Tommy Jones in match play only winning 2 games out of a possible 7. You know, it wasn't that he bowled bad. He bowled pretty decent. But when you post a game of 267 out of the gate and come up a little bit short, you know what? Handwriting's on the wall. You're not exactly headed for a really good match play stretch at that point.
He missed it. He bowled 11 strikes in the first game. 11 strikes. Missed a single pin, and that cost him that game 267 to 279. And guess who bowled the 279? The lefty Jonas Jekinen. That was his. He had a perfect start into the match play round.
Jonas was on fire. I mean, all day. I watched him bowl in qualifying. Obviously, I got knocked out in step 1 this morning, and step 2 came along, and here's Jonas out here, and I'm like, well, wait a minute here. I know what happened in step 1 here. Where did he come from? And then I realized, I looked back at the scoreboard to realize that he was in the top 12 seeded in, and I watched him. I sat behind him and watched him play. You know, his soft speed really allowed him to match up. He was making a lot of great quality shots to go along with that soft speed, but his ball was going through the pins, and he just kept penciling them over, 220, 230, and the next thing you know, he's still standing tall when all the dust is settled.
Yeah, and that helps to build some confidence.
Oh, my God, yes.
He beat Mika and Mike in match play, so why shouldn't he win the last game?
Well, you know what? I've been on enough TV shows to know that anything can happen in a one-game match. 10 frames, you're going to put it all on the line and try to make the best of it. And we all know that it only takes one unfortunate shot or one big break for one of the 2 players, and it can be as much as a 35 to almost 40-pin turnaround.
That is true, and we have seen a lot of strikes this week, but we have seen any kind of split. And believe me, on Wednesday, the TV finals of the WTBA International Open, the great Walter Ray Williams, 47 PBA titleist, lost the first against Chris Barnes. But all the people remember was Walter Ray spared the Greek church.
Yes, he
in
did.
This amazing, and it shows anything can happen here today. And all what we are missing actually in 9 years Brunswick Euro Challenge would be a 7-10 pin, 7-10
Conversion.
split conversion. That would be nice.
Well, I'll tell you what, right here at the Brunswick Euro Challenge, if you make a 7-10 here, they should give you the key to the city. Okay? I got to honestly tell you the truth. There are not very many pins coming out of the pit here. So to make the 7-10, you got almost as good a chance as winning the lottery back in the United States.
But I saw you and the other Brunswick staffers in the youth clinic earlier this week, and I saw a 7-10 split conversion.
Well, that's because we're on the Brunswick Pro staff. We know how to make those
good.
things.
Yeah. Or was it because you were using 2 bowling balls?
I'll never tell.
Okay, good. Yeah, so folks, that was fun for the kids here in that area. Some 50, 60 kids were here, and they had some of the best players of the PBA Tour having a clinic with them. It was Parker Bowl, Sean Rash, Chris Lowshetter,
Ronnie Russell, Walter Ray Williams Jr., Tom Smallwood, Ryan Simonelli. You know, but that was put on and hosted once again by Plaza Bowling. Really put forthright all of the right things to make that happen. They invited a lot of juniors to come out here. Like you said, Herbert, we had about 60 kids out here, and they really were a wide variety of range in age. I think our youngest person out here was 6 or 7 years old. The oldest one was probably 17 or 18. And some of them averaged as little as 100. And some of the bowlers, there were 2 or 3 bowlers, I believe, that were on that threshold of 200 average.
And most of the credit for all of this and for running the Brunswick Euro Challenge now goes to the Valke family And I think Laurent Valke is about to announce the players. Even this has taken a little bit longer than expected. We are working together, by the way, folks, with Eurosport. We don't know the TV dates on Eurosport yet, but of course you will find them as soon as they are available on bowlingdigital.com. You can find all the coverage of this week, including the videos of the WTBA International Open, including the video of today on Bowling Digital. Just search for the stories about the finals, and we have uploaded both on Ustream and on YouTube, so you can choose whatever you prefer to watch them. Okay, everybody's awake now, I think.
I think that's what it was.
And there is Laurent Valke.
Bonsoir, mesdames, messieurs. We begin to the finals of this 9th edition of the Brunswick Euro Challenge 2012. Nous allons commencer la finale du Brunswick Euro Challenge 2012. We had a great week, great weekend. Nous avons passé une super semaine, un très bon week-end. Now we will have a tremendous, outstanding final Stepladder match. Et maintenant, on aura une finale extraordinaire Stepladder. Exactement. Non mais on peut l'applaudir quand même.
So they both do a multilingual introduction of the players as usual.
Well, there's a combination of both a lot of Americans that are here, but there are a lot of other international athletes here as well.
Yeah, but they usually English is the language here in Europe for the bowling tournaments, because if you start to translate everything into Finnish, Swedish, and we have 35 countries here, if you do that in each and every language, this would,
Well, you can't do it in each and every language, but you do have to respect the host country.
Yeah, sure we
And
do.
since we are in France, it's only proper that the people of France hear it in their language.
Exactly. And there are a lot of fans here. People, can you listen?
First seeded on the Stepladder finals of the Brunswick Euro Challenge 2012. In 2 squads, he was qualified.
Le premier finaliste donc de la finale du Brunswick Euro Challenge a eu besoin de 2 squads pour se qualifier.
He played 229 average each game.
Il a une moyenne scratch de 229,48 sur tout le tournoi.
His best game, 279. So,
Sa meilleure ligne est 279.
the only non-professional bowler of the tournament who makes the Stepladder finals. Le seul joueur amateur qui fait ses finales. From Finland.
And here's the
Jonas.
number 1 seed, left-handed Finnish national team member Jonas Jekinen. And he might be the crowd's favorite just because he is the youngest, just because he is still the underdog, not a PBA player here. And of course he has the support of all the Finns and the other Scandinavians here in the bowling center.
Second seeded.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how things
Le deuxième
progress.
finaliste.
Yeah, but first
The first
he can really relax, sit and watch how Mike and Mika will battle it out for the second finalist.
De Finlande.
And he knows, okay, the worst thing can happen, he finished second,
Il a eu besoin de 3
and that is still
trois
decent
squads
prize
pour
money.
se qualifier.
Yes, it is.
Average of 231.
Il a une moyenne scratch de 231.
The winner gets 15,000 euro, the second place is 7,500, and the third place 5,000 euro. The other finalists who went out in match play got 2,000 apiece.
From Finland.
The players who were eliminated in the second round, 1,500, and the others 1,000. Not so bad.
All of us that went out this morning.
And here comes a guy who has already made some big money on the PBA Tour. He won the Tournament of Champions, won the first
Biggest
place check was $250,000. Mika Koivuniemi, like Parker, a two-time PBA Player of the Year, and he is the reigning PBA Player of the Year for another 6 weeks.
Yeah, for another 6 weeks. You know, Mika's he's been bowling outstanding, obviously, for a couple of years. But probably the biggest thing that Mika has is he's got titles in so many different countries. I don't know that anybody has more titles around the world than Mika Koivuniemi.
Yeah, there are a few players who bowl internationally for years, like my friend Paing Nepomuceno from Finland. I think he has 126 international titles. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and he's on the Guinness Book of Records. But Mika, I know Mika sent about internationally 25 years now. Where he bowled on the Finnish national team before he made the big step, went to the United States to compete on the PBA Tour. Now he's back on the Finnish national team because the World Champion Bowling Association opened up for professionals. Professionals are allowed to compete internationally again, which I think is the best thing they could do. So Mika and other pros are on the national team, like the Team USA consisted of Walter Ray Williams, bowled in the World Championships in Thailand, won 3 titles, and Sean Rash was a Team USA member. Tommy Jones is still on the Team USA, and so on and so on.
Oh, when you look at the players that are here, especially on the American side. Just looking in the field. I mean, obviously, Jonas is on Team National for Finland. Mika is also on the national team for Finland. Michael Fagan was on Team USA. Tommy Jones, Sean Rash are both Team USA members. So, you know, when you look right there alone, you have, it seems like everybody's involved with it that are the top players.
Yeah, the top European tournaments. Who are all on the European Bowling Tour, European Bowling Tour events, or like the Brunswick Euro Challenge, or World Bowling Tour event even. That looks like an international championship, just without having a international medal. But to be on the World Bowling Tour, you must have a $100,000 prize fund at least. The Brunswick Euro Challenge has more than 100,000 euro, so that's currently our biggest tournament in Europe. And see the field, it attracts so many people, so many players.
Oh, when you look at the depth of the field is endless.
Yeah, the same as when I wrote about the top 64 players, I could have easily written about the other 64 players notable players who did not make the cut. Yeah.
One notable player that unfortunately didn't get in the top 64, believe it or not, and he's been bowling extremely good, Norm Duke.
Exactly, yeah. And Norm Duke made his TV final today. He will be on ESPN at 2 o'clock in the PBA doubles.
Yes, he will.
And watch out what Norm will be doing in this TV show. I hope we can finish early enough, so otherwise you will find the recorded show on Bowlingdigital and you can review this.
Hey, they may be taping it the other way. We don't know.
Yep.
Now, as you're sitting here watching the players bowl, I can tell you this, that Michael Fagan and Mika Koivuniemi have been on enough TV shows. They're going to break the lanes down proportionately to where basically it's going to be a strike fest. I expect it to be a higher scoring match. And we know that the scores are already high to begin with. But these two players know that they're not going to try to play a game to take one of the other players out. Both players know how to play inside. They both know how to play outside. But they don't want to hurt themselves for the fact that one of them eventually is going to bowl against Jonas for the title. So, and Jonas being on the left side of the lane, they're not going to affect him.
Mike Fagan, our third place qualifier. He won his first PBA major title in the USBC Masters in January. and almost made it 2 in a row. He finished second in the US Open, just 1 pin shy of
1 pin.
of the title. Pete Weber beat him by 1 pin for his record 5th US Open title. I mean,
Incredible.
that is
Absolutely
unbelievable.
incredible.
Yeah, that is his tournament. He owns it. He and his father, who won it 4 times when it was the BPA All-Star back in the 60s.
Maybe it should be the Weber's Open.
Weber's, yeah, okay. We have already the Dick Weber playoff, so I think they will be fine with
But
it.
when I say Weber's, we'll put the plural S on there.
Yep. Yeah, so Mike Fagan has seen a lot of pressure this year already in TV finals, and he is actually a Brunswick Euro Challenge champion. He won it a couple of years ago, so he knows what to do.
Well, Michael has definitely been doing a fair amount of international competition. He's been bowling all throughout the world. So comfort level, he's totally fine. Obviously, he's one of the hot hands, if not the hottest hand that we have on the PBA Tour here over the past few weeks, with the fact that he bowled for the title in both of the last 2 majors there, winning the Masters, obviously coming in second in the US Open. But he's not just going to go away very easily. Mika Koivaniemi's going to have his hands full, and he just better put the pedal to the metal. But Michael honestly knows that he's got his hands full with Mika. As good as Mika's been bowling, the magnitude, the depth of his game, how well he can play, Michael knows that he better bring it all out here right now and put it all on the table, because Mika's not going to go away single-handedly very easy neither.
If Mike wins the title, this would be his 4th title on the European Bowling Tour, the 2nd in the Brunswick Euro Challenge after 2009. And Mika has even a better record on the European Bowling Tour. Let me just check. Make no mistake.
If you're looking for his record on the European Bowling Tour, you may not be able to pull all of that up on 1 or 2 pages.
If my file serves me right, he has 6 titles on the European Bowling Tour. As you said, he has won titles all over the world. Yeah, and definitely all over Europe.
That's just in the European Bowling Tour. That doesn't count all the other countries and all the other titles that he's amassed along the way over his 20-year career.
Yeah, and as he is a PBA member, if he wins the Brunswick Euro Challenge, that will be his 10th PBA title. Big deal for PBA players. That makes you eligible for the PBA Hall of Fame, right?
Yes, it does. The 10th title, you really become in a class of your own at that point. There are not that many people that have ever amassed 10 titles on the PBA Tour. Obviously, back at home, Mika's got the nickname Major Mika, okay? Although this is not a major championship in the PBA's eyes, this is still another major championship as far as Mika. And Mika wants to go out there and do nothing but win the entire tournament.
Yeah, he has won the USBC Masters in the year 2000, the US Open in 2001, and of course the biggest one, the 2011 Tournament of Champions, with the nice $250,000 first prize.
I'll tell you what, he could win another 100 titles in his career. I don't think he will ever forget that one single day. For a multitude of reasons. Was it the fact that he won $250,000, the biggest prize fund, definitely the biggest first place prize check in PBA history? Or was it the fact that he bowled $299 to win by 199 pins? So,
yeah, that will be the biggest margin, biggest winning margin forever in the PBA.
yeah, Tom Doherty, the eventual 100 shooter, needless to say, his only TV show I'm going to go out on a limb and say if Tom Doherty ever makes another TV show, he's going to raise his PBA TV average.
Yeah. Otherwise, this will be another record.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never had a 2-digit.
He was, I'll tell you what, he was going for it that day.
Yeah.
And he wasn't going for it because that's what he wanted to do, but everything he kept trying to do ended up to seem to be wrong.
Some of the last shots by Mike Fagan, Mika, and Jonas. So, it's just about a 2-hour delay.
Well, you know, but you need to understand a 2-hour delay. Everything that we do in the U.S., for the most part at large, the TV shows are held in concurrent with the tournament, but they're usually held with no bowling prior to that point, or very little bowling. You had 3 different rounds go on today. You had the round of 48 bowlers. The top 16 advanced into that step 2. Okay, obviously that first round of 48 bowlers was step 1. But step 2, those 16 bowlers joined the exempt, or not the exempt, but the 12 bowlers that were seeded in from the 12 highest qualifying scores. So you had another round of 28 bowlers get out here and bowl 6 games. And those top 8 advanced to step 3. Then you had 7 games of round-robin match play. And to try to keep everything running on time concurrently with stripping and re-oiling lanes, folks, there's a 28-lane bowling center here. And you can't just snap your fingers and get that done at the flip of a coin. So, you know, things do take a little time. But please, you know, we thank you for staying on so long. Obviously, now we're 2-hour delay. But we promise you that you're going to have an action-packed 2 games here as we get things underway here shortly.
So the first match will be...
And Pat Mitchell gives the sign. Practice is over. You know, usually the highest seed, which is Mika, he can choose either to start or chooses Mike Fagan starts.
What's going to be the highest seed? Obviously,
Mika
Mika's
will start on lane 16.
going to start on lane 16. Now, usually as a player, I would believe that Mika's starting on 16 because he sees that he feels lane 15 is a little bit better for him. That's going to be his finishing lane.
And that will be his finishing lane, and he will finish. Mike Fagan has to finish first, and Mika last on lane 15.
Well, folks, I believe we're going to get things underway here right now.
Yeah, but Mike Fagan will start. What a surprise. It was a strike. Number 1 by Mike Fagan.
Best plan for a strike is high flush 10 in a pit. You don't have to worry about it.
And here comes Major Mika. Preparing for his first shot. We are sitting in front of a really packed house here.
Yeah, there's a couple hundred people here for sure.
Oh, a light hit. And 2 and 10. Not what Mika wanted to see in this first frame.
No, this is not the way that he expected to start, that's for sure. But he's going to give this a good run, you can believe that.
See the slow motion. Light head pin around the 2.
Almost looked like he lost that off his hand a little bit quicker than he wanted to.
Let's see if he can spare it. Nope. You could see it.
Yeah.
So his reaction, I was way.
He knew that was way left of target, obviously, when he's trying to shoot the spare. So the good thing is, if you have to have an open frame, honestly, get it out of the way early, because it won't ruin your momentum going forward. Mika, he's been here many a times. He's going to put that past him. He knows he's got 9 solid frames in front of him.
Fagan had a great comeback in his USPC Masters final against Chris Barnes. Chris was looking like the champion, and then Mike made a 40-plus deficit up and cruised to his first title. And this is what the people want to see here.
Yeah.
Big round of applause for Mika and his first strike also on lane 15. Perhaps you're right. And we'll see what Mike is doing on the right lane.
Yeah, time will tell. It's early on in the game.
Typical Mike Fagan. The high backswing.
High back swing, but high flush. The key word is that high flush. When your ball enters the 1-3 pocket on the right side of the lane and all 10 pins go back to the pit, I'll tell you what, there's not really a better feeling when you're rolling a bowling ball than having your ball get right to that premium spot.
And of course, couldn't be better for Mike. He starts with a double, an open by Mika, so immediately pressure on Mika, and he could even add this.
Takes the early lead, but something obviously distracted him there, so did the proper thing. Walk off. Take a split second, regain yourself.
Yeah, it's a little bit different to bowl in Europe than in the PBA tournaments, where it is really absolutely quiet on the final. It's that is our style. Some people just have other things to do and get so excited to see this that they, yeah.
Well, when you look at the turnout that we have here right now, look at the fans that are in the back. They're here to watch 2 really good matches. A lot of them have been here most of the day, watching all the great bowling by all the other great competitors.
That's true, folks. We started at 8:30 in the morning, and we started the finals 12 hours later.
I know we started at 8:30. I was here.
And the live stream was already running. Going for a double.
Much better shot there.
Yep.
Real solid shot there. Yeah, your live streaming started at 8:30. I was in the building at 7:30, but unfortunately my scores, well, let's just say that's why I'm sitting on the bench right now.
Ah, okay, good. Yeah, but honestly, the live stream even ran at 7:30 because we did not stop it from yesterday night. We finished really late, folks. The Desperado squad at about 2 o'clock in the morning. So the players who made it through the Desperado squad, they had a really, really short night.
Is that why you have a pillow stuck under the table over here? I understand that now.
Okay. Going for the third. And now we have a match.
Yeah.
3 strikes by Mika after the big split in the first frame.
Well, like I said, he's put that first frame behind him. It looked like he lost the ball off his hand a little bit quicker than he wanted to. And, you know, being a seasoned veteran that Mika is, forget about it. Let's move things along. Let's get on to business. Get down to the nitty-gritty here. And
take it shot by shot.
He's put 2 quality shots right in there and told Michael, you know what? I'm here. Great shot, ring and 10. Good clean shot by Michael Fagan there. Obviously getting to the 1-3 pocket. Unfortunately, leaving the ring and 10 over there in the right-hand corner. You know, that he would love nothing more than a strike, but folks, the game's all about strikes and spares. Got to learn how to do both. And that is way uncalled for.
Oops. Misses the 10-pin spare. 87 for Mike Fagan in the fourth. And believe it or not, it has already turned.
Well, unfortunately, Mika knows a little something about missing a 10-pin on TV.
Oh, yeah, that was a bad one.
Yeah, the U.S. Open there, unfortunately, that happened to him a couple of years ago. But I will tell you this, that he thinks twice when he gets up to shoot a 10-pin now, more so than ever, because he doesn't want to repeat that one. But him sitting on the bench and having it thrown back somewhat in his favor, you know what? What goes around comes around.
Yeah.
Michael Fagan gets things back on deck there. Trust me, Michael is not very happy with himself for missing that 1-pin spare. God only knows how many of them he shot at today, and probably made every one, if not almost every one.
Yeah, it gives the advantage to Mika if he strikes on his next two shots. He takes the lead, and Mike is in a situation.
It's a big momentum swing, mentally.
Big shot for Mika. What a great shot. I mean, yeah. 4 in a row for Mika Koivuniemi. And it's about, he'll take the lead in frame 4 after opening. The game was
But did you
with a
see?
miss.
Did you see how solid that shot was at the foul line? He posted that shot, got the ball out on the lane. Not an excessive amount of loft, just a comfortable loft out on the lane. Held through it, followed all the way through. Boy, when that ball got to the pocket, perfect. 10 back. Ooh, got away with that one.
Yes. And how important for him. Otherwise, Mike, with the strike in the fifth, he would have a chance to turn the match around in the second half. But now the pressure is on Mike. He needs the next strike.
He's breathing a little sigh of relief on that shot there. Could have been a 2-pin, possibly 2-8.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know what happened in the first frame, but you know, putting that behind him, he rolls it out, turns it into a 5-bagger, and lo and behold, puts the pressure right back on Michael.
Nice match.
Yes, it's a great match. Really, the only unforced error so far is Michael missing a 10-pin.
11-pin lead for Mika Koivuniemi after 6 frames. Both working on a double.
Still anybody's game. 6 frames in, 4 frames to go. Anything can happen in this game.
Could be a 267 for Mike Fagan. Exactly the score that Tommy Jones had when he lost to Jonas Jekinen. Will be exactly the same.
So you're trying to say that 267 is not enough to win a game?
Might be. Especially when you bowl Mika Koivuniemi.
Yes, I would agree.
if he's locked in. Oh, we will see. A little bit high and leaves the 9-pin.
Well, it looked like
Bad for Mike.
he put a piece of tape in there. Might have got the last shot a little bit quick off his hand, even though it went high flush, and he was happy with the result, but he didn't want to take a chance that it was going to slide off his hand a little quick again. So needless to say, put a piece in there. Might have held on to it just a hair. Still a great shot, but unfortunately solid 9.
Got it?
Got that one. Hey, strikes and spares. We finally have one of those spares on the board.
Yeah, the first spare in the 7th frame by Mike Fagan. 136 in a 6. But if he wants to win this, he needs to strike out.
He needs to put a little something together, but he knows right now that he can't do anything but sit and watch Mika as he gets up here on a 5-bagger. Still frames left, but he doesn't want him to put his back to the wall yet. That's
no chance. On the nose. Almost Brooklyn.
grabbed that one a little bit at the bottom, and unfortunately it really made the ball turn hard off of the spot, going right through the nose. Fortunately, leaving 3 pins together for, I don't even want to say an easy spare anymore, a relatively easy spare. But
yeah, and this helps Mike.
Yeah, well, the biggest help right there is the fact that Mika did not continue striking.
Exactly.
The other help was the wood count now went into Mike's favor.
Gets the spare.
Okay.
145 to 136 in a 6 frame, so it's just 11. It's just 9 pins, sorry. And that is nothing, so it comes down to the last 3 frames.
Last 3 frames, who's going to perform? Both players with a spare there in the 7th frame.
Yeah.
Michael's still throwing. I mean, when you look at Michael's game, his game's pretty solid so far. He has not missed a pocket yet. So.
Back on lane 15. It should be his favorite lane, as he has chosen that Michael starts, so that he finishes on lane 15.
Exactly.
All about strikes now. Oh, you don't believe it. That is another 210.
Another 210. Well, you know, he went light last time on that lane. Got away with it. And
not with this one.
No, not with this one. Now he's got some work cut out for him here.
So another turn in the match.
Well, it could be.
He needs to spell this. And he can do it.
Trust me, Mika knows that you're not going to win too many matches if you continue to leave the 210 split at the other end. A little too much of the 2-pin there.
And a second open frame. 172 means maximum score 232 for Mika.
With a possible 246 here for Michael Fagan. The key for Michael is to just get up here and make 2 great shots. Put a double on the board. If he can put a double on the board, then good things would have a really good chance to happen for Michael.
This time the 8.
Thankfully, he only left the 8. Trust me, he's happy he's only got 1 to shoot at. For Michael this week, actually, that shot probably had a chance to carry it at moments. But we know the lanes are changing a little bit. The fact that he only left 1 up there fills the frame.
So a little advantage for Mike Fagan, depending on the pin count in the 9th frame.
Yeah. Well, Michael knows right now that if he gets up here and throws a strike right here in the 9th frame, regardless of what Mika does, Michael holds all the cards in his own hand to determine his own destiny.
And here we have all the dignitaries. A lot of Brunswick distributors, the president, Brent Perrier, WTBA president, Kevin Dornberger, and others.
Henry Valky as well. I mean, these are all the important people that really make this whole tournament possible. Without 3 or 4 of those gentlemen right there, we wouldn't be sitting at Plaza Bowling Center competing this week.
And there is the strike. Perfect shot by Mike Fagan in the 9th frame. Puts all the pressure on Mika now.
It does. Mika's been here before. He knows right now that he just wants to bear down and make a couple of great shots to give himself an opportunity.
He needs to strike out to force Mike to double in the 10s.
Yes, he does. But you know, you look at this game right now, the momentum that it's gone through. Michael had the early lead. Mika come back. Mika took over the lead. Michael said, wait a minute. Let me see if I can't do a little damage here and open for Mika. And next thing you know, Michael's got the lead again.
So you think there will be another turn in the last 2 frames? We will see.
That's not good.
Okay.
Lanes have got to be tightening up on the back end.
And the 8-pin fell late. And guess what?
Another 210. Mika's probably a little bit too deep on the lane for obvious reasons. He can't get his ball to make the turn. So the lane is tightening up down on the back end, therefore making his ball skid a little bit further. When he thinks it's going to turn over and enter the pocket, the ball just continues to go straight a little bit longer than he anticipates.
He still has a chance to make it if he spares this time, and Mike doesn't throw a strike in the 10th frame, so he's not dead yet.
And I got to believe Mika Koivaniemi's odds on making this.
No.
Even though he misses, I got to believe that his odds on making that are definitely 33%. Although he missed it 3 times here so far in this match, he finds himself in a
if he strikes out for
pretty
210,
big hole.
Mike just needs to mark in the 10s to win this.
Well, but just needing to mark at the present moment,
yeah,
looks like it could be a little bit on the trick side.
Yeah, especially if he leaves at another 10-pin.
He liked that one.
Yeah. A little late, but perhaps not too late.
You know what? It's never too late unless mathematically it's over.
But he needs another one.
Yes, he knows the scoreboard. He definitely needs another one. He has no chance of winning this match unless he gets up here right now, throws another strike. Mika taking his time. He gets things set up here in the 11th.
Nope.
Small distraction. Oh, doesn't like the rack.
So players are allowed 2 re-racks
Yeah,
per
something.
game, and even more if they ask the referee. Referee is right here next to us.
We didn't like the way something looked down there, and you know, knowing the fact that he has 2 re-racks, he controls what's going on right now. And it was better off for him to step off the approach, take a re-rack, so that you know you have 100% confidence in what you're doing, not skeptical.
His last chance. This must be a strike. And it is a 7-10 split. And that hands practically, it hands the,
Yes.
the win to Mike Fagan. He would need 2 gutter balls to lose this.
Well, maybe not 2 gutter balls, but you're right. He would need an absolute disaster.
199. Would you have thought after Mika had a 5-bagger in frame 2 through 6 that he will finish with 199? No way.
Would not have figured that one.
You would make a lot of money if you would have bet on this. Here comes Mike Fagan and gets away with the strike, and that seals the win. Mike Fagan will advance to the title match against Jonas Yehi.
Tell you what, even though he can strike out for 235 here, his ball for the most part has been in the pocket the whole game. Went light and left an 8-pin the last time on that lane. Went really high, tripped out the 4-pin. If Onus comes out and is lined up pretty good, Michael's going to have his hands full.
Comes up high, another 3-6-10.
Could be trying to get a feel for the lanes as to what they're doing, but to be honest, you better get that narrowed down a little bit more. But wholeheartedly,
But first of all, he defeated Mika Koivuniemi in the semifinal. Mika will finish 3rd for 5,000, and Mike has at least 7,500 in his pocket, and is going for 15,000. Final ball.
that looked like a good pocket shot. That's what he was trying to get lined up for there.
A 222, 199 victory for Mike Fagan in the semifinal. He will meet top seeder Jonas Jekinen of Finland in the title match. You're watching Bowlingdigital TV from the Brunswick Euro Challenge in Paris. My name is Herbert Bickel. I'm the editor of Bowlingdigital.com, and I'm sitting here with PBA and USPC Hall of Famer Parker Boone. Stay tuned for the title match. We'll have a little break.
Germany. How are things in Euro?
I'm doing okay. Germany's doing okay. They still, we have to put so much money into Greece because they are bankrupt. The whole state's bankrupt.
So that also, all the European countries have the been there now.
We have to. Today they say it's more expensive. They go bankrupt. So we have to spend almost they get 130 billion euro. We think Germany paid about 17 billion. That's kind of low. No. Yeah, it's the same.
Stoppen zwischendurch. One stop between the finals. Stop. Da müssen die aber alles durchgucken fürs Finale. Schauen, wie viele Leute das schauen. Zwei gleichzeitig. Ja. 37.500. Du musst dir mal angucken. 2.500 gleichzeitig. Das war das neue Rekord. Gleichzeitig 2.500.
2,2 für die Woche jetzt.
Jetzt? Nächstes Mal hängen wir einen Radler auf.
Hat sie den Bild gehabt. Jetzt kann es nicht verwechseln, kann ich wieder auf das Eis schalten.
Jetzt wieder mit ihm.
Voll, das hat gerade Zeit.
So we're ready for the title match of the 2012 Brunswick Euro Challenge. You're watching Bowling Digital TV. My name is Herbert Bickel. I'm the editor of bowlingdigital.com, and I'm here with Parker Bohm III.
Good luck.
The finalists, Mike Fagan, who just won the semi-final against Mika Koivunen with 222 to 199, meets young Jonas Jekinen, national team member of Finland, a compatriot of Mika, in the title match for the PBA title, but only for Mike Fagan. Jonas would win a European Bowling Tour title and, of course, 250 ranking points, because the Brunswick Euro Challenge is the highest category on the European Bowling Tour. So you got 5 times the ranking points, 5 times 50 for the winner, 250 ranking points for the champion, and the 15,000 euro top prize.
That's big for Jonas, that's for sure.
And I think Mike would take it.
Yeah, I gotta believe he could twist his arm.
At least he could buy his girlfriend, Emily Meyer, few things in Paris tomorrow.
Yeah, Emily, just like a bunch of the players here, you know, Michael fortunately brought his girlfriend Emily Mayer over here this week, and they spent 1 or 2 days downtown Paris doing a little sightseeing, doing the touristy thing. Mika Koivuniemen, obviously he brought his wife. She's been here with him as well this week. Sean Rash brought his wife.
And I saw Leslie.
And yes, I had my wife here too. We actually did the downtown touristy thing. We're actually going to do it again tomorrow too. We're spending 1 extra day here.
Yeah, and spending some extra money, I think that is easy in Paris.
Yeah, that usually goes pretty quickly as our match gets underway here.
The top seed, Jonas Jekinen, has chosen to start. Okay, that is exactly what his compatriot Mika Koivuniemen left in the last frame.
Yes, it is, as a matter of fact.
And on the same lane. So what's going on?
Well, you got to remember that there was no bowling going on the left side of the lane the entire game, that they just got done bowling. Mika and Michael. And the only bowling that happened, Jonas went out there and threw a couple of shots, so the lane is still going to continue to change on him as well. The good thing for him is there hasn't been a lot of play, so if he can get lined up to it, the only play is him.
Déjà vu for Mike Fagan. His opponent starts with an open frame. Big split. Let's see if Michael starts with a double.
As a player sitting on the bench, you kind of don't mind that.
Not as good as in the beginning of the first game back.
No, but I'll tell you what, that was a pretty solid strike when you look at some things being a little shaky at the end of last game. So whatever adjustment he made there, I'm going to say he definitely moved left.
Yeah, I'm sure Mike is glad to see no pins anymore.
Yes.
Not a 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 pin.
As a player, you are extremely happy when you don't have to roll a second shot down the lane. Another great shot.
That was a great shot from Mike. Starts with a double, same as in the first match against Mika. Let's see if Jonas...
Right. Well, the one thing that, you know, all the international bowling that Michael's done, just like all the other PBA players, we have the utmost respect for all of the European players that bowl, not just in the EBT Tour or the World Bowling Tour, but throughout the world. We have respect for other players that bowl in all the other worldwide events. So Michael knows that Jonas led this tournament. He better bring everything he has.
Second shot for Jonas. Better, but it leaves the 7 pin.
It was a great quality shot there, ringing 7. Actually wobbled it a little bit, so that means obviously the 4 pin hit it. But unfortunately, it's still standing there.
Here's the slow motion. Yeah, that was not enough to knock the 7 pin down.
No.
And first spare attempt for Jonas. Glad that he made it.
Now the big key is for Jonas, has he bowled or actually earned an EBT Tour title?
That is easy to find out.
Or has he even bowled for the title?
That is not so easy to find out.
Because, you know, bowling everything in the PBA that, at least that I've bowled, I have not seen Jonas overseas bowl in anything. I don't even believe that he's bowled the Masters.
no PBA, no EBT titles.
Okay.
And it won't be a PBA title for him, as we said in our introduction. Jonas has not applied for a international PBA license before the tournament started. And that means even if he wins this Brunswick Euro Challenge, and he's trying to do this, got a strike in the third, but he won't be awarded a PBA title because he's not a PBA member.
But for Onus, then, this is probably one of the biggest matches of his career.
Most probably.
And he has to bowl one of the hottest players on the PBA Tour.
But believe me, it is. And there, Fagan again with 3 strikes to start the match. But believe me, it is really tough to be a national team member in Finland, to become one of the 6 players to represent your country internationally. I don't know a lot of countries that I would choose to try to do this rather than Finland.
Yeah,
they've
got some great players.
Folks like Osku Palermo, Mika Koivuniemi, Petri Salonen, Petri Manonen,
Kimmo Lehtinen.
Lasse Lintilä, Kimmo Leitonen, who is here, and oh my God. And that's just to mention a few.
Exactly.
Pasi Rottila and so on. And he made it, and it was even a youth national team member, so that's the way they do it in Finland. Great education for the youth bowlers, and that helps to build up a strong team. I remember the title match at the last Men's World Championships in Munich. It was Finland, one of the last matches, Finland against Team USA, and that was a really close match.
Well, it's a close match because you have great players on both sides.
Exactly. Trailing by 31 after 2 frames. Jonas Jekinen trying for his first strike on lane 16. And it's another 7
pin. You know, another relatively good shot. That wasn't as solid a 7 as the one he left earlier. But keeping that in mind, Onus has come out here and hit the pocket all 4 frames. Something, unfortunately, you know, Mika obviously lost the pocket or lost control of it a little bit. And I'll say that's what ultimately did him in. But, you know, Onus is keeping his ball around the pocket. Hopefully he's going to make this spare move along. Yes, we do know that Michael has the front 4, but there's still a lot of bowling left in this game.
And he had a pretty impressive series in match play. Of course, you need that to earn the number 1 seed in a tournament like this. Yeah, including that unbelievable 275-267 win against Tommy Jones.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's not afraid to throw some strikes, that's for sure. And lo and behold, don't worry, Michael does know that. Michael knows that Onus led this tournament because he struck quite a bit. Okay, he might have been in the right place at the right time to win 1 or 2 matches, but he did strike quite a bit. He earned that right to be the top seed. And Michael knows that he has an opportunity to put the hammer down, and he wants to just make sure that he keeps the pressure going forward.
Ooh, and another big split. 2 7-pins on lane 16 and 2 big splits on
That
lane
looked
15.
like he tried to give that one a little extra help. You know, after the 7-10 that he left and then the 2 7-pins, that one he tried to give a little extra help.
Here it comes. Great to see.
You try to give it a little bit more, and the next thing you know, instead of getting just to the pocket, it goes right through the nose.
Oh my God. 75 after 5 frames. So that already it's maximum 225.
Yeah, he's dug a big hole for himself right now.
And Mike is working on 4 strikes. I think he needs some help from above to
Michael
win this.
Fagan right now is kind of thinking he wants to be a freight train coming down the tracks.
That looks pretty good, and it is.
Yeah, with shots like that, he's not only a freight train coming down the track, but he's fully loaded.
But winning the USBC Masters and finishing second in the US Open, it helps to build some confidence.
Oh
and
my God,
that's
yes.
why we said he might be even the hottest player. He and Sean Rash. Sean, who made a lot of finals in the World Series of Bowling, the first 5 tournaments, 5 consecutive TV shows, but he was very hot when it came to the majors so far.
Sean unfortunately doesn't have a lot to show for it, but through the last 2 years, he's probably bowled as good as anybody, with the exception of pulling some victories out. But it's not about Sean Rash right now. It's about Michael Fagan.
Yeah.
The front 6. An overwhelming commanding lead here. He is in full control. The only thing he's thinking about right now is throwing great shot after great shot.
If he strikes in the 7th, he has twice as much as Jonas Jekinen in the 5th frame. Excuse me.
Yeah, he's not really worried about winning the title right now. All he's worried about is just making great shot after great shot.
He might win it in style with a 300 game. That would be nice for so many people watching here. And of course, for so many people watching, watching on the internet as well. Yeah. And even the computer could not make it.
Onus.
Yeah, and the referee is already...
Onus cannot get a break right now.
Yeah.
Look at this shot when you watch it.
A 3rd consecutive 7-pin on
Great
lane.
shot. Does what he needs to do. The 4-pin nudges the 7 out.
It was down. What is it now? 7.5?
It's about 7.5. Yeah, exactly. Nudged it out. Stood it right
so
up
how do
between
you bowl this? Because they don't move it back?
Well, they won't move it back. As long as the machine did not knock it over,
okay.
you have to spare.
That's it. Then.
If the machine does not knock it over, Herbert, you have to shoot it where it stands. Just remove the dead wood. But if the machine would have actually knocked that pin over, then you would put it back on spot exactly where it started. Jonas is kind of thinking to himself, what else could possibly go wrong to me here? I've got a 7-10. I paid for it with a 4-6. Got 3 7-pins over there, one of which I thought was going to strike. And
he has each and everything in this game. 2 spares, a strike, 2 big open.
There's something
familiar
new.
pin.
Yeah.
He just could not figure out the 7-pin in this match. And okay, you don't need to be a prophet to say that this is over.
What everybody needs to understand about Jonas, as I'm looking at his scores here, he bowled a solid round in match play. He never bowled a game under 200. As a matter of fact, his lowest game was 208. Can we pull up his final step 2? Let's look what his scores were for step 2. As he easily makes the 7-pin there. And here's his scores for step 2. The only game he had under 200 was game 6. He bowled 194. So he's bowled all day today with 1 game under 200 par.
He had 2 250s and 3 games in the 220s in round 2. Shot 1393, almost 1400.
It's a solid round.
Yeah, finished the round in 3rd place. finish the next round in first place. And we'll finish the tournament in second place as Mike Fagan continues to strike.
He's bowling a steamroller right now.
7 in a row, and it's all about how high he will bowl to win this tournament. His second Brunswick Euro Challenge title, his
Fourth PBA title.
Fourth PBA title, but fifth European Bowling Tour title.
Yeah, Michael Fagan, I think he kind of likes it over here.
Yeah.
Right now, I can tell you, he's exceptionally liking this game. Liking would be an understatement. Loving would be a little bit better. Solid shot there.
Yeah, and now the crowd is getting mad.
Yeah.
This is exactly what the people wanted to see here. We just had, and that was the most amazing thing for me. We just had one 300 game the entire week. The scores were really high, and there were a lot of players,
Fluttering
Europeans, Americans, going for the 12th strike, starting with 11 strikes, and I saw a 294 by Tommy Jones. Yeah, we saw a couple of 299s today. Mike Quarry, the Englishman, led the first round with a 260 average. Finish was back-to-back 290s,
He bowled
299
incredible.
and 290. Unbelievable.
As we watch Jonas go a little bit light there and got the 7 out, unfortunately couldn't get the 10.
Yeah.
You know, the experience that he's going to gain from this match will make him go a long, long way in his bowling career. I mean, I understand the experience he's gaining with Team Finland. Trust me, being part of Team USA, the experience you can gain there is absolutely insurmountable. But when you're bowling a live television match that we're bowling right here, right now, regardless of win or lose.
Especially in front of a couple of hundred people watching.
Ball change.
Oh, and here we go.
Maybe you should have started with that bowling ball.
Yeah.
One was a ball change, but number 2, you know,
I look much better than all the other shots.
it did look better, but he also knows, you know what, I need to get out of the way here right now. I want to try to please.
And actually, there's no pressure at all.
No.
Because he knows this is over since the open frame in the 5th. Fagan, number 9. And now, let's see what happens. Will the 2012 Brunswick Euro Challenge winner wins the title with a perfect game? And you could count it actually as on TV, because we are working together with Eurosport. This is the main camera of Eurosport, so you can see that on TV all over Europe soon. We will announce the dates as soon as they are available on bowlingdigital.com. Perhaps it counts as a televised 300 game, as it is a PBA title. Who knows?
Well, that'll be up to the PBA to determine that right now.
Yeah, greetings to Tom Clark. He can sit down and decide.
Michael Fagan's not worried about what the destiny is there. He just knows right now he wants to make 3 of the best shots of his bowling career. He knows he's earned the title. He knows he's won the title. But he's got everything right now. 3 great shots, one at a time.
Go! Left 10 pin on this shot. Had a chance.
Had a chance. Still a fairly good shot. You know, ball got to the 1-3. When you got 9 in a row, you're bowling in a title match.
He was hoping for a messenger but didn't get it.
Yeah.
So And
Very
okay.
solid game.
Yeah.
Onus has nothing to be ashamed of, that's for sure.
No.
Michael Fagan bowled a solid 270, possible 279.
Great.
You know what? Can't say a whole lot about that other than he bowled a great game.
Yeah, look at this. This is what happens. New ball, no pressure. Jonas Jekinen back on track.
He's probably thinking, why didn't I start with that ball?
And that's the biggest applause for our 2012 Brunswick Euro Challenge champion, Mike Fagan. 279.
It's a solid game right there.
Yeah. Oh, he deserves the applause and he loves it. That is... Oh, come on. Number 3 for Jonas. And that's not as bad as I feared.
I'll
So
tell you
we'll
what.
finish with a 190 game. Great.
Look at how good he bowled that game. He missed the pocket one shot that he 4-6'd, and well, I know the tournament's over now for Jonas, but once again he bailed it out. He's going to bowl 190, which is still respectable. Just his opponent bowled 279.
Yeah, and he gets the 4th one.
Maybe he should have bowled the 10th frame for Michael Fagan.
Yeah. What a great show for the final, though it is a big margin between those two players. The champion, well-deserved, Mike Fagan wins his 4th PBA title in the 2012 Brunswick Euro Challenge.
Yep.
There's Emily.
His girlfriend Emily Mayer
Yep.
comes out, gives him a big hug and kiss, and
He will get 15,000 euro for the victory, 250 ranking points, which will propel him. I think he will pass Mika, though Mika will get a lot of points, 175 for 3rd place. But he was close to Mika, so Mike might even overtake the lead in the World Bowling Tour rankings.
I was just going to say the World Bowling Tour rankings are right there, and as good as Michael's been bowling, the points that he's going to get from here, keep in mind, he did bowl Mika.
Yeah,
He's
right.
not going to pick up a massive amount of points, but every time you finish ahead of the guy that you're trying to beat.
But as it is a platinum event, 5 times the normal figure of 50 points for the leader, 250, the 2nd place. So Jonas will get 200 points and Mika get 175. That's a lot, but 250, 75 plus for I'm going to check that out. We'll take some time. Jonas Jekinen in 2nd place, 7,500, and Mika Koivuniemi 3rd for 5,000. We take a little break before the award ceremony, and we'll be back soon.
Very good.
If you don't want to be back for the... We could finish this if you want to leave. No, I'm fine. Yeah, cool.
No, I'm fine. I'm okay.
Let me just check out.
I thought you wanted to go. What is this for?
That's the ranking point, Mika's ranking points, that's less than 75. And he gets 75 points more than Mika.